All right, hello everybody. I just want to give you an update on the deficit negotiations that we've been having for the last several weeks.
Obama interpreted. President Obama made a press statement July 5th explaining his position on the budget and the debt limit increase. But that statement needs to be interpreted into what he really means. So here's my best effort to interpret Obama's words from the words he had actually used.
Now, I've heard reports that there may be some in Congress who want to do just enough to make sure that America avoids defaulting on our debt in the short term, but then wants to kick the can down the road when it comes to solving the larger problem of our deficit.
Here, by the larger problem of our deficit, Obama means that Congress is thinking about passing only a one-year increase of the national debt, or shorter, and not the unlimited increase Obama demands that would take the nation to beyond the next election in 2012. That's what he means by kicking the can down the road. A short-term solution for him is one that doesn't get him past the next election.
I believe that right now we've got a unique opportunity to do something big, to tackle our deficit in a way that forces our government to live within its means.
A government that lives within its means to Obama means giving the federal government an unlimited credit line and continuing to rack up record deficits into an indefinite future, without any of those pesky congressional votes on raising the debt limit before his re-election. This, of course, is hardly what most of the American people would consider the government living within its means.
Most of us already agree that to truly solve our deficit problem, we need to find trillions in savings over the next decade, and significantly more in the decade that follow. That's what the Bipartisan Fiscal Commission said. That's the amount that I put forward in the framework I announced a few months ago. That's around the same amount that Republicans have put forward in their own plans.
Obama's plans for nearly trillion-dollar deficits forever, though closely matched by the Republican establishment proposal, was not the only proposal out there. Tea Party favorite Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky offered a true balanced budget proposal, one which includes no tax increases and lots of spending cuts and balances the budget within 5 years. Paul proposed cutting foreign aid, farm subsidies, eliminating the Departments of Commerce, HUD, Energy, and Education, and most importantly, cutting U.S. foreign troop deployments abroad. But substantial progress to Obama is striving to make endless deficits much easier past the next election. That's why Rand Paul's budget proposal must be ignored.
To get there, I believe we need a balanced approach. We need to take on spending in domestic programs, in defense programs, in entitlement programs, and we need to take on spending in the tax code, spending on certain tax breaks and deductions for the wealthiest of Americans.
To Obama, government spending in the tax code is letting the American people keep their own money. Obama terms it the wealthiest of Americans, but he has also increased taxes on the poorest of Americans as well, by signing one of the largest increases in tobacco taxes, used disproportionately by the poor, and by allowing the Federal Reserve Bank to accelerate its inflation tax on the poor and middle class. All actual government spending is termed investment by Obama. The balance Obama's talking about is spending increases and tax increases.
This will require both parties to get out of our comfort zones and both parties to agree on real compromise. I'm ready to do that. I believe there are enough people in each party that are willing to do that.
When Obama says that there are enough people in both parties willing to get this done, he's probably right. The Republican Party is not dominated by Tea Party types who would demand real spending cuts.
I've asked leaders of both parties and both houses of Congress to come here to the White House on Thursday so we can build on the work that's already been done and drive towards a final agreement. It's my hope that everybody's going to leave their ultimatums at the door, that we'll all leave our political rhetoric at the door, and that we're going to do what's best for our economy and do what's best for our people.
Obama plans to have congressional leaders up Pennsylvania Avenue to browbeat them into submission, and will brook no talk from Republicans about actually balancing the budget or demanding real spending cuts in exchange for an increase in the statutory debt limit. The so-called best for our country and for our people Well, that, Obama says, is the nation continuing an unchecked descent into Greek-style debt and eventual bankruptcy.